Well, it's September 2022, and many will know that I'm new to the podcast hosting journey. And in the first weeks of launching, I was super surprised to receive so many requests for more of me. So here I am responding to your requests, and I will commit to sprinkling some of my own solo episodes amongst my conversations with Purrr, with my extraordinary guests. So today's topic was the most requested one. What is spirituality? So allow me today to demystify the mystical. But first, let me start by saying what spirituality is not. And I'm reminded of something that happened a number of years ago. I was giving a keynote in the Gold Coast, and it was one of those keynotes that had a gala event, a gala dinner afterwards, and I delivered this kick-ass keynote, and I was enjoying getting dressed up for the gala event. I love beautiful fabric, I love beautiful clothes. I also love delicious wine, amazing food. I'm in hospitality. I own the most awarded Vietnamese restaurant in the world. We've been in business now for 20 years, so I love deliciousness. So here I am, I've given the keynote. I'm now at the gala dinner in a sexy dress. I'm drinking wine, I'm enjoying my dinner, enjoying socializing with everyone. And this young man approaches me and says, "I thought you were all spiritual and shit." I said, "What do you mean? What do you mean by that?" And he said, "I thought you were all spiritual and shit." And I said, "Oh, this is interesting. What do you mean? Can you clarify?" And he said, "Well, I didn't think a spiritual person would behave or look like you." And I went, okay, so your paradigm is something very different to who I am. And he goes, "Well, you swear, you don't dress spiritual, and you're eating meat and you're drinking alcohol." And I said, "Okay, you thought that spiritual people were like that. All right, sitting in lotus position, eating vegan air and renouncing all these things, right?" And by the way, there are scientific health benefits to cursing and swearing, which include increased circulation, elevated endorphins, an overall sense of calm and control, as well as well-being. Why? Because you're being fucking real. The key, however, is to do it sparingly, of course, and to not be angry at the same time, because that's not so healthy for you, right? Especially if you come across as being vulgar versus being fucking real. And so I said to this guy, "Right, that's your mentality, that's what you think spirituality is. Those are your expectations. Whose expectations are they? They're yours. Okay, well, you can have them back because those expectations belong to you. Don't project them on me." And we had a beautiful evening afterwards because he had to accept, he got to see a different perspective. What else is spirituality not? Spirituality is not peace, love, and moonbeams, right? It's not love and light. Spirituality is about power, to be all-powerful, but power is not force, right? Power is a very different conversation. The power within ourselves, the power to embrace all of ourselves, the light, the dark, the grey, the good, the not so good. We are all of it, all of it. Spirituality is about living our truth. It's about snatching our power back. It's about becoming the grandest version of the greatest vision we hold of ourselves. And you know what? When you are your true self, it takes no effort. When you are living a lie, that's why you're tired. That's why you age. Why? Because you're living someone else's dream. You're not living your dream. That's why you're tired. Or perhaps you feel stuck. You're not stuck. You're stuck at a developmental stage. Everyone has a developmental stage. My children are at their own developmental stage. But what you need is a good teacher or a good mentor or a good guide to guide you to the next stage of development so that you become unstuck. The spiritual journey has nothing to do with being nice, right? It's about being real. It's about being authentic. It's about having boundaries. It's about honoring your own space first. And when you are in this space, when you're in this space, being nice just happens. Being nice just happens because you live your life in flow. And you're not motivated by fear. You're motivated by love. And sometimes the love is so expansive and so profound that your heart bursts with the joy for existence. And I believe that we're not here as humans to have this, such enlightened experience. We're not here as humans to reach this soul spirit experience. We are here as souls to have a human experience. We're here as souls having a human experience. So if you think spirituality is about renouncing and suffering as much as possible, I would encourage you to have another look at that. Because to be spiritual means to live your life in spirit and inspired, to not deny yourself of the pleasures and all the things that make you happy and give you joy. Sickness happens when there is no joy. We are here on this earth to do three things: to push humanity forward, to evolve, and to do it with joy. It's the third part that most people forget: to evolve, to push humanity forward, and to do it with joy. And the ones who practice this spiritual bypassing, they'll tell you that to be spiritual means to go without, to renounce, that you're not meant to experience pleasure. What a load of bullshit. Pleasure is our birthright. It is the attachment to pleasure that we need to be aware of, not pleasure itself. And spirituality has nothing to do with religion, right? It has nothing to do with religion. I believe that it is religion that needs spirituality. Spirituality does not need religion. I live in the real world, and it's possible to live in the real world and be spiritual as well. I am hypersexual. I love delicious food. I love fine wine. I'm incredibly accomplished. I play a lot, and I have a potty mouth. So if you were expecting a monk-like spiritual person who believes in suffering and renouncing in order to learn and renounce the pleasures of life, you've got the wrong gal. You've got the wrong gal. I wish to live a life that causes my soul to dance inside my body. I wish to live a life where my soul thanks my human body for allowing it to evolve every day. The soul needs the human body, you see. Without the human body, my soul can't hug my children or call up that guy or call up that girl to tell them I think they're hot. Without the human body, I can't call up that potential collaborator and say, hey, let's create. Without the human body, my soul can't feel the deliciousness of Mother Earth and Father Sun caress my skin. And when we can learn that, when we can truly get that, when we can really get that our soul and our human body can finally dance together, the body says to the soul, I want to be your friend now. I'm still learning about all the things that you love. And then the soul will reply to the body, thank you. I've been waiting for you all my life. And it's that moment, the moment where you change your perception. That's the moment you start to rewrite the chemistry of your body. So what is life like when you are spiritual? From absolute experience, not only for myself, but also for my students and my clients, to be spiritual simply means that we get to live our life with ease. Not easy, but ease. We move from struggle to ease. And then it happens. One day you wake up and you're in this place where everything just feels right. Your heart is calm, your soul is lit, your thoughts are positive, your vision is clear, and you are at peace with where you've been, at peace with what you've been through, at peace with where you're headed. Would you like that? Would you like that? Spirituality is simply physics that has yet to be explained. And we start to experience and abide by the universal laws, the laws of the universe, such as the law of vibration, the law of magnetism. To be spiritual means to live your life filled with consistent synchronicities, consistent gifts and blessings. You're able to access guidance and synchronicity. When you learn to live the world as a multi-dimensional being, insights, ideas, aha moments just flow to you. You start to receive insights and guidance that make you lucky. But you don't just have insights. You find yourself in the right place at the right time. Life becomes full of synchronicities and magic. Your dreams and your desires come true. Would you like that? Magical things happen to you. Positive, valuable people are drawn to you. The negative seems to steer away from you. And when you learn to program your energy and master your frequency, and your electromagnetic signature starts to expand, you attract the good and you repel the bad. Your life will move from struggle to ease. And when we understand the law of magnetism and the law of vibration, we start to bend reality. We become a badass manifester. I teach the science of this in my signature program called The Spiritual Entrepreneur. I'll put a link in the show notes later. The next intake is in January. There's heaps of testimonials from all walks of life. Many lives have been changed. Life is never the same again for those who do the work. If you do the work, you get the pay. If you don't do the work, you don't get the pay. And if you don't get the pay, you don't get to play a very different game of life. Spirituality is the pre-eminent path to self-mastery and success in all its forms to achieve your boldest goals and awaken your infinite potential. And then we understand that the body is the servant of the mind, mastering the relationship with yourself and your emotions to your capacity for impact and connection to others in business and in life. And you can't work on just the mind, right? You have to work also on the heart. How much do you love? How easily do you forgive? And we must work also on our body and its internal ecology. Without our health, there can be no wealth, right? And most of all, we work on the greatest power of all, our soul, our spirit. All areas must be encompassed. No area can be ignored. Spirituality is about knowing and understanding yourself and why you do the things you do a little bit more so that you can make the better choices. Spirituality is having the intention to consistently master yourself a little bit more and a little bit more. What greater gift can we give to others than to work on ourselves to become the greatest vision of the grandest version we have of ourselves? Better choices always lead to a very different life. The better we know ourselves, the less we fear change in the world. The better we know ourselves, the less we fear others. The better we know ourselves, the less we fear ourselves and our own power. Spirituality is making the decision to live your life deliberately and not by default. When you live your life in spirit and inspired, it's when you can do your best work and then magic happens. The universe rewards you for finally living your truth. And you will be touched by the divine on a daily basis. You will experience mysticism regularly. And you will live a life of joy and happiness that you never thought possible. Because joy and inspiration is our birthright, and then we become badass by design. Someone once asked me what it means to be badass by design. It certainly does not mean love and light. To be a spiritual badass by design means to do no harm and take no shit. Do no harm and take no shit. What does it mean to be badass by design? This is a person who goes out there and creates and changes and collaborates and builds and leads and pushes forward humanity. To be badass is to transcend the illusion of the immanent mind, to live your quest and unapologetically bring new dimensions onto this physical plane. And when we do, we live a very different life to most people. We are immune to overwhelm. We have friendships that are so strong and so true. We call upon inspiration on demand, and we make the invisible visible. We live in abundance, joy, playfulness, sexiness, and laughter. We live in states of flow and ease, and we are able to bend reality. We are old souls who believe that the mystical and the spiritual are important aspects of our superpowers. And then when you are in alignment with your truth, the real truth of you will find your vibration rise higher and higher. And as you combine working towards what is truly valuable for you with the plethora of other learnings that we share together, we are what we share and we continue to share, you start to experience synchronicities and synergies as your everyday norm, because now you've become a badass manifester. And there is a science to this. Spirituality is simply physics that has yet to be explained. My latest book, The Way of the Spiritual Entrepreneur, The 7 Secrets to Becoming Fearless, Stress-Free, and Unshakable in Business and in Life. In the year of its release, it won Best Entrepreneurship and Small Business Book Award. And just as my first book, Secrets of the Red Lantern, was a dark and deliciously personal memoir which I disguised as a cookbook so people would buy it, The Way of the Spiritual Entrepreneur is a book about alleviating suffering and magnifying human potential, disguised as a book about a little spiritual entrepreneur. But what my book truly offers are new ways of thinking, and new ways of doing things, and new reasons for thinking and doing things differently. In a world that reveres superficiality, the spiritual entrepreneur goes deep. The spiritual entrepreneur asks themselves questions such as, what do I need to do to feel the way I want to feel? Who do I need in my orbit to help me to get to where I want to go faster? But first you've got to become attractive to attract these people, right? And I'm not just talking about looks, that helps too. I'm talking about the words you choose to speak, the thoughts you choose to think, the people you choose to hang around, the responses you choose to demonstrate, the actions you choose to no longer demonstrate, the energy you choose to emit. While most people allow their emotions to fuel their behaviors, the spiritual entrepreneur has their behaviors fuel their emotions. Spirituality is the preeminent path to self-mastery. And why is this important? Because in business and in life, the effect we have on others is the most valuable currency we have. The effect we have on others is the most valuable currency we have. That's all from me today. And I hope this episode has given you more of a sneak peek into my world and what I teach and how I do life. And I want to thank you for encouraging me to do solo episodes. And I look forward to you joining me for the next conversation with Purrr. Meta, meta, meta.